happened in that game, Mike?
What happened in the Look, Miami. They fooled everybody, Miami, this year. So you guys got to suffer that indignity too, because this felt like a special season. Miami looked a certain way, and then the same thing happened. That's happened really the last 4 years. Is Miami has its tendencies. They put up enough film. Teams know what to expect. Miami doesn't really adjust the adjustment, and also there's this weird haze of when they meet adversity, they don't meet the moment. They kind of look for any kind of excuse to get out of it. Now, they still should have survived that game. Unfortunate that I'm not going to be a 40-year-old man complaining about the officials, but there was a strange game.
What does your age have to do with it?
Well, you reach a certain age where you don't want to be like the refs cheated guy, but it was you put it in their hands. You got to make catches. You got to be disciplined. I don't know why this center keeps playing. He very clearly cannot adhere to the rules of the game. Really, really a huge bummer. It felt like a special season. We know that when Miami meets its ceiling and plays clean football, they can hang with anybody in the nation. And it just sucks. This felt like at least a college football playoff team. Now a month is an eternity in that sport.
They have no chance of done.
But it does. Yeah, well.
I mean, do they though?
Look, man, Alabama got blown out by a really mid-Oklahoma team, and 12 days later, everybody was saying how if they were in the playoff, they'd win the national championship. A month is an eternity, and you have the weird situation where they have a win over Notre Dame. Notre Dame is cruising right now.
Yeah.
The committee's going to want to put Notre Dame in, but Miami's head-to-head matters. I don't think the season is necessarily over, and quite honestly, I really am curious to see how this team responds, because Mario Cristobal is a big, culture, discipline, toughness guy, and the team is not reflecting that. And I thought we had the locker room right, so they need to respond.
Let me ask you this question. You said they didn't make the adjustments to the adjustments, which seems to be a thing. I'm a basketball guy. When I hear that, I think of Mike Budenholzer, who really good coach, smart coach, but it's philosophically opposed in general to making adjustments. Because he's like, if we do what we're supposed to do, it doesn't matter what they do. That's kind of his way. Is that Mario Cristobal, or is Mario Cristobal just not good at making adjustments?
Seems like both. In a weird way, it seems like both.
Honestly, the offense was doing outside runs. We were doing creative stuff with Malachi Toney. I do think that there is a conservative approach. Now, you may see the interception, which, by the way, was Malachi Toney's fault at the end. You have a guy that's been so locked in with Carson Beck. He was supposed to flatten out that route. But I thought Carson Beck actually played kind of well. He was pretty accurate with the ball, and he made some big plays. There were some unfortunate penalties that called some big plays back. But, the ACC comes for us all. I mean, the ACC comes for us all.
Yeah, Mike, I can't help but notice you're doing a press conference thing, or I ask you a question.
I'm hugely bummed. I'm hugely bummed. This team, I think, I haven't been this hurt by a team. Even last year, we blew a 21-0 game at Syracuse.
Yeah, but this team was better than last year.
You knew that last year was a deeply flawed team, and you were just like, let's get into shootouts with Cam Ward and get into the playoff and get to Charlotte.
No, you felt like this team could do something.
Yeah, you felt like this could be a special season. Now, you do have an opportunity to win back-to-back 10-win seasons and show the nation that you can be a consistent winner. I do think that that's important. I do think that watching how this team responds under Mario Cristobal is hugely important for the future of the program. But you can't help but feel like, man, that is such a bummer, because we wasted an opportunity there.
ACC is only going to get one team.
You would think, given the reputation, which Miami's got to look good. Miami's got to perform. We can have that conversation in a month from now. Like I said, November is a wild month in this sport. 4 weeks is an eternity. I do think that Miami will be back on that bubble conversation, because they were in the bubble conversation last year. So if they meet that resume that they had last year with a better defense and signature wins under their belt that they didn't have last year, with the added complexity of Notre Dame being in that conversation and them having a head-to-head win over Notre Dame, I do think that there's more hope than it feels right now. But right now, you got a real problem, and it seems to be intangible, because it comes down to discipline and how you meet adversity, and they get Fs across the board.
I guess I would just add, last year, yes, they didn't qualify for the ACC title game last year either. Did they finish third in the ACC before that game? Were they the first team out?
Yeah, it was screwy. You had like
because
four
right now
teams in the mix.
because right now they're 7th.
No, they have no shot at Charlotte this year.
No, I'm not talking about a shot of going to Charlotte. I'm talking about will the committee look at them as a team to give an at-large bid? They didn't last year when they were 3rd in the AC.
They did look at them last year. The conversation was South Carolina,
right.
Alabama, Miami.
I mean, they didn't put them in. And right now they're 7th in the they're not going to vote in the 7th best team in the ACC.
You're going to have teams that have 3 losses in the SEC that they're going to be dying to put in, and I do think that there will be an interesting conversation.
And they're going to be dying to put Notre Dame in.
Well, that'll be interesting to see how the head-to-head has to matter.
Mm-hmm.
It has to. I think it would be pretty BS.
Well, how much does the head-to-head matter when the game literally happened at the start of the season?
The head-to-head has to matter.
But it's never mattered at the start of the season. Like, that's been the thing for every team when it comes to the playoff is you judge the team based off who they've been.
Yeah, you're a different team at the end of the season than you were at the start of the season.
We can have that conversation 4 weeks from now. They're probably going to lose another game because they're so undisciplined. Like it seems like a ridiculous conversation right now when you got the most emo goddamn team looking for any excuse to give up.
What were you most angry about in the end? If you had to pinpoint one thing.
The penalties. You look at that box score, you're wondering how the hell you lost that game. The SMU ran for 23 yards. Most of that was in overtime. I was really disappointed that they seemed to quit after the interception. I was disappointed that they still have this conservative approach to not trusting the quarterback. Carson Beck's going to throw interceptions. You got to live with that. You got to let the guy go. But really it's the penalties. We gave up 100 yards in penalties. Now that I think Tim Reynolds pointed out that crew has done a couple of Miami games, and Miami has been called for 21 penalties, and their opponents have been called for 6.
Do fans of other schools and other conferences complain about their officials the way that the ACC fan complains about ACC officials?
ACC officials are bad. Look, Ruben Bain gets held all the time on that illegal man downfield. This wasn't even a conversation because the cameras didn't catch it. Malachi Tony straight up got tackled. He straight up got tackled while he's running a route. Not a conversation. They pick up the flag on the DPI on Keelan Marion.
Are you mad about the 4th down rough in the passer?
I am hugely mad about the rough in the passer. Lightfoot holds him up. That is, come on. That is not the spirit of the law. That was BS. Miami could have survived that game and taken the lessons from it.
I'd kind of like the officials to understand the situation in that spot.
But ultimately, you had an opportunity to control that game. You blew it. And you put it in the officials' hands, and you deserve to lose that.
Why are you making a face?
Look, I understand why people are super happy, but
no, but look at him. He's making a face.
Yeah, we got a bunch of peepos over here.
Come on, bro, the zebras, bro.
What are we doing?
Lost the second game
What
again. Another ACC loss. I mean, that's what this program does. You lose in conference games, and you don't make it to Charlotte, and then you don't make it to the playoff because that's what Miami is.
What happened
They're
to
a team
UCF
that's
this
just on the
weekend?
outside. Oh, the UCF Knights don't exist. The UCF Citronauts exist, and they're undefeated.
Okay.
They're 8-0 in the history of their program.
What?
Space Week.
UCF got beaten 30-3.
Yeah, bad program right now.
I'm not going to do that.
Doesn't matter.
I honestly don't think
We didn't have any
at all.
expectations.
No, everything.
But you have championship expectations.
Everything that Jeremy said was true. I think that this season feels especially disappointed. It's a byproduct of how this program got our hopes up. And there's a lot of people with egg on their face. A lot of the smartest people that cover this sport all thought Miami was for real, and they folded. It's really sucky that over the last 2 years, when this team loses, they lose inside the margins and one-score games, and there's always a play or two that could change a season, and it's just not breaking their way. And quite honestly, it's the lack of discipline when you have a disciplinarian head coach that drills that all week in practice, and yet you still play the same guys that keep making the same mistakes. There's got to be accountability there. He's got to show something.
I gotta say, for the audio audience, y'all can't see this.
No, I'm devastated, dude.
No, it's not just devastated. You are doing textbook press conference behavior. You haven't made eye contact.
I can't
with anybody or even a camera throughout that entire soliloquy.
No.
Although you are looking around as if you are looking at different people to talk to, but none of them are ever the camera, and none of them are any of us.
I'm bummed. I haven't been able to shake it. It's a crushing loss.
That's the other thing about college sports that fascinates me. Is there any other sport in the world where ultimately the championship or who competes for the championship is decided by a committee that says, not you.
No.
When you think about it, it's incredibly weird. Like every level of sport in the world, we all go, we compete, and then okay, those guys are the winners.
I do think it's really ridiculous, and it kind of boggles the mind for someone to speak like they know what's going to happen 4 weeks from now in this sport.
Sure.
I mean, the CFP took so many twists and turns in the final 2 weeks last season. So
that's you trying to make it sound like the Canes still have a shot here.
I think if they put up 4 straight weeks of playing clean football and having a 10-win season, we'll find ourselves in the exact same debate that we had last year with a much better hand, with a Miami team that's lost 2 games by 1 score.
On the outside looking in.
We'll see, Jeremy. But for the meantime, shut the up.
Marking it. I'm going to put everything Jeremy said was right in the glove.